Hi, welcome. So, in this video, we are going to look at Matplotlib, our first visualization package in Python. So, we've looked at pandas and we've looked at NumPy, and now we are going to look at Matplotlib, and the next video will look at Seaborn. So, you can choose between using Matplotlib or Seaborn, and at times you even use Seaborn with Matplotlib. So, but then I'll just introduce you to the two packages, Matplotlib in this video and Seaborn in the next video, and you're going to see at times why people love to use Seaborn and just come in with Matplotlib, like support for Seaborn for some cases. So let's just go straight to the video, take a look at Matplotlib and see all the beauty and how Matplotlib can help plot charts for you. So here I have this file here. So the first thing is you need to do a pip install Matplotlib if you don't have it installed. But if you are installed Anaconda, then it comes already with Matplotlib. All you need to do is just go straight to import matplotlib.pyplot. So make sure you have this .pyplot here as PLT. So I'm going to share this file with you as a link to the description of this video. So you're going to have all this file, even what I will save at the end, so you can follow through easily. And then it's always good to add this line, matplotlib inline, so that your charts are interactive when you plot them in this notebook, Jupyter Notebook here. So it's always good to add this when you're using Jupyter Notebook. So now we have this data here. So let me run this first. I'm going to run this. So we have this data here, just copied and pasted it to make things faster. So you can always just copy and paste it. So there is a day, there's a maximum temperature of each day, 50, 43. There's a minimum temperature of each day, and there's the average temperature of each day. So let's run this. We have it now inside. So you could use your Matplotlib to plot all these three lines on the same graph, which is interesting. So let's just say, for example, you decide to give the labels. So let's start with the labels. You can use Matplotlib to label it. So you say X label. Let's just say we put day. Then we go down and we say the PLT dot Y label is temperature. And then we can also add a title. PLT.title is daily temperature. Let's just call it daily temperature. So this PLT, remember, is coming from here. So you imported matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So you could have given any name here and you just use the same name here. So we are calling now matplotlib.pyplot and passing the method of X level is day, Y level is temperature, and the title is daily temperature. So now we can plot our three lines. So we can plot our line charts like this. The first line chart will be day, and then you have maximum temperature, max temp, and then now we have also give it a label. So we can give it a label name. So we'll call it maybe max, for example. You can just copy this and paste 3 times, 2 more times, so that we just modify them. So I'm just going to copy and paste here and change this to mean, change this to mean, change this to average here. So I'll just call it AVG, and then here we can just call this maybe AVG as well. So let's run this, and we get these lines have been plotted directly with Matplotlib. So it's easy. You just give the labels and then you give the plots. You have that already. So you could also want to show the legend here. So if, for example, I wanted to show the legend, let's just bring it to this next line here. So yeah, we just want to show legend. For example, I'll just name it just to guide you. So now we just paste here, and then what we need to do now is just to add another thing, plt.legend. That's just simple, plt.legend, and then we can decide the location. Do we want it to be maybe on the upper left or upper right lower left, lower right. So if, for example, you put here upper right, upper left, for example, upper left, for example, you would have it here. For example, you put, let me just change this to right, for example. So you could decide where you want the legend to be located, is be on the right. So you could just simply put a best, so that the plot will decide where best to put it, and it sees that it's best for it to be on the right. So just use your best there. And then now another thing now is that you might want to plot a bar chart. So let's just put the header there so that it can guide you on what we are doing when you'll be reviewing this. So and a good thing to import, I just want to use NumPy here. So remember, Matplotlib works with pandas and NumPy, so they work together. So these are all data analysis packages. So I've imported NumPy as NP, as we used to import in the previous videos, and then I just want to create some data set for some shops. So I can just call this shop 1 and shop 2, shop 3. So let's just create a couple of shops, shop 2, and then we just create maybe shop 3, shop 3. Then we can just create also shop 4. So just create these 4 shops, and then we say the next thing we want to do is their revenue. So we can say their revenue equal to, we create another list again of revenues, maybe 110, 156, 109, and then let's just say 47, for example. So let's say get that, those 2 lines. So we can now just create some points here. So I'll just set X points here. So I'll just use a range, np.arange. So create a range, give me a range from 0 up to the length of this shop. So it's just another method in NumPy. So if I print this, you see that I just have 0, 1, 2, 3. So I just want to do 0, 1, 2, 3 here. That's just what I want to do. So what I can do now is that I can create maybe a vertical bar. So vertical bar here, just to guide you. So those notes are just to guide you when you'll be reviewing this. So I can say plt.bar, and then now I will need to put the X here, put the Y, which is just X position, put the Y, which is the revenue, and then put the label now. Give it maybe revenue as label. So revenue as label, revenue as label here, revenue as label. So we could also now plot the, say, plt dot xticks. So we use xticks here, and then we say we want the expose and the shop here. So now we put our labels again, our X label, Y label. So we know that we usually have our X label here. So like these ones here. So this is what we add again here. So put it down here, and then we are going to say our X label this time. So we already have X tick. So what we need is just putting our Y label. So our Y label is revenue. Revenue, and then our title can be revenue per shop, for example. So we just use those 2, revenue per shop. Just type it well, revenue per shop. And then we can also decide to add a legend. So let's just put a legend here, plt.legend. And so when we run this now, we get this has been created. So you can see your different shops, shop 1, shop 2, shop 3, shop 4. And if you instead wanted to get a horizontal bar, for example, so you wanted a horizontal bar, then let's just copy this here and modify just to save time. So here we paste, and then instead we are going to just say we want a bar horizontal edge here, horizontal. That's what we are going to say there. So you have your expose shop, revenue per shop, and then when you run it now, you now have the horizontal bar based on the fact that you just simply change this to edge there. So you could also get something like a histogram, and I'll just show you. I'll just copy some data here so that we don't waste time on plotting the histogram. So let's just get some data in so that we don't waste time typing. Let me just bring this so we can have, let's say, visitors like this, for just to guide you so that you know we are now talking about histogram. So we can say you want these visitors and this is the data set you have. So if we plot this now, we can do a plt dot hist. So that's plt dot hist, and then we now pass in visitors. We can decide to get the width. So we can decide that the width would be, maybe let's put it to 0.8, for example, 0.8, and then we run this now. So we have our histogram that has been plotted for us, and you can decide to, there are a couple of modifications you can do, but then we'll just introduce you to histograms, and so that you can be able to go more if you want to customize this histogram. Another thing you might want to see is pie chart. You might want to plot a pie chart. So let's just see, how do we plot a pie chart? These are like the most popular charts that we usually plot. So I'll just copy some data here, which is just to make it faster for you. So you have your units sold 1,600, 800, 500, 610, 450, and then the different products that you're selling. So if we click here, so we can just simply create a very fast pie chart just by saying plt dot pie, and then we pass in now our units sold, units underscore sold, and then we say labels equals to product, and then now we just pass in a plt.show here, plt.show here. So when we run it, there we are, we get our pie chart very easily, and we could even decide to include percentages to this pie chart. So if we want to include percentages to this pie chart and maybe also make the axis equal, so what we could do, we could just simply copy this and add a couple of things here. So we could say, for example, I'll just add up here axis equal just to make it, so plt dot axis. So if you're already starting to get used to the syntax of Matplotlib, so now we just say we have units, so labels equals to product, and then now we just have to pass in now the percentages. So we can now pass them here using this pct, and then we can say we want this, let me put this maybe 1.1, then f, then we pass this 2. So let's run it. Now we have the percentages inside. So these are just the basics of Matplotlib, and there might be time when you're wondering, how do I save a chart? Maybe save a chart. So save a chart. Save a chart. After having a very good chart, how do I save it? So let's say you have this, your unit sold again here. Let's bring it back here. Let's bring this one here. Let's run it. And then now you want to run this. So let's copy this, paste it here. And then what we want to do is maybe just say you want a plt.savefig. So you want to save the figure, and then now you say product now .jpeg. So that I'm just giving the file like a JPEG file. It could still be a PDF file. Let's just leave it like that, and then we could decide to say we want the B-box inches. So we can decide the inches to be tight. So these are just showing you some of the things we can do. We can pad it. pad the inches, so having a padding of 1, and then we can decide that we want a transparent, for example, to be equal to true. So if you run this now, if you see this chart here, and if you go here, you have it has been saved here. So if I click here, I have this chart now, which I can maybe put on a PowerPoint slide and maybe share with the rest of my team. So I hope you've been able to see some of the basics of what Matplotlib can do, and see you next video. Wish you good data luck.